Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is Ask Mevo Anything. My name is Joseph Pisani, and I am a technical specialist here with Mevo. Happy to see you all today. Thank you for joining us. And on today's show, we talk about everything Mevo and answer your questions live. So if you're watching us, we are live right now on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at Mevo Camera. So if you're watching on any of those platforms, feel free to post any of your Mevo questions in the chat, and we'll be sure to get those answered today to the best of our abilities. But before we do that, I'd like to tell you about a few things that we have going on. So this, of course, is Ask Mevo Anything. And this is our Tuesday show. So if you're not familiar, we do shows Tuesdays and Thursdays. So on our Tuesday show, we do Ask Mevo Anything. And this is a single cam show. This is where we use the bare bones Mevo. We don't incorporate any crazy technical setups or anything like that. We kind of use this show to show you what the Mevo could do. You could do a live stream. You can talk to your people live, chat, answer questions, that kind of stuff. On Thursdays, we do Mevo Live. Now, the Mevo Live show is a little bit more in depth. The Mevo Live show has we use NDI. We bring in people from other areas, different locations, different sources. We use webcam. We go through a lot of the multicam features as well. Excuse me. Okay. And of course, if you are a Mevo customer already, we recommend you participate in our referral program. So recommend Mevo to a friend. With this program, you can save your friends or family 5% on their Mevo purchase at Mevo.com. You can also earn a 5% commission on your end as well. So go to Mevo.com/referral or Mevo.com/refer. And that will allow you to set up your own custom code to give to your friends or family and give them a little discount. Great program for the holidays that we got coming up. All right, so first off, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you do have questions, please post them in the chat. Looks like we do have some questions coming in. I will definitely answer them to the best of my ability. And let's get this rolling. So, all right. Right off the bat, Jeff Young, good morning. Good morning, Jeff. Nice to hear from you. Happy Turkey Day from Jarrett. Happy Turkey Day coming up pretty soon this weekend. This Thursday, which I should mention, today is the only show this week. So if you're looking for the Thursday show this week, it's on Thanksgiving. Obviously, we're not going to have our show this week, but we will be back next week. So if you're looking for your Mevo fix, today's where you're getting it. Charlie on YouTube says hello to all. What's up, Charlie? Leo, hello. Okay, cool. Ronald, first question of the day from Facebook. Why does the Mevo Multicam app not allow sound through an audio interface? Ronald, you might want to expand on that. Let me see. He does a little bit. The single Mevo 2.0 allows me to use audio interface, but I can't use the multicam option. Okay, so there's a couple of things going on with multicam. The multicam app is going to take whatever audio is established on the Mevo first and use that. The only exception is using the device audio of the device running the multicam app. So for example, if I was running the multicam app on my phone, I would not be able to use the device audio as a source. Now, the reason being is the multicam app, think of that as a catch-all for your cameras, right? So if you have camera A with a 3.5 millimeter input, let's say, camera B, you're using the internal microphones, and camera C, let's say you're using like a wireless lav microphone, Multicam is going to take all those audio sources and bring them in. The only option that is not allowed is, like I said, is using the device audio because it's not using that as a channel. It's not using the device as a channel per se. It's using the cameras as the channels. So hopefully that clears that up a little bit. Now your question is not allow through an audio interface. Now that's absolutely not true. So to give you an example, my setup today is I am running a single Mevo start and I'm running audio to that Mevo start from this is a blue baby bottle. This is then going to my analog mixer, which is to the left of me here. That is then coming from the 3.5 millimeter output into my Mevo. So you can absolutely use any type of interface or soundboard with the multicam app, because once I establish this connection with my audio, I can then open up my multicam app and bring this whole package right into the multicam app. So hopefully that clears that up a bit. Okay, and Brad. So hey everyone. Oh, Brad's just stopping in to say happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. Thank you, Brad, for stopping in. Thanks for participating and joining, jumping in the chat for us. Brad definitely comes to a lot of our shows, which is cool to hear from him. Jarrett, let's see, good Black Friday deals on PoE adapters. I don't think we have anything going on the PoE adapters. However, I think we will have some sales coming up. Let me double check on that. So let me... let's hit up marketing and see what they have, because that's a great question. Okay. Oh, looks like a pupper's coming to join me. Okay. So I'll get back to you on that, Jared. Hey, puppy. Let's see. Laser Les coming in from Oregon. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Jack from YouTube. He's saying... when using the Ethernet, can you unplug and plug it in without any interruptance in the stream? Or is there a process to go from wireless to vice versa? Okay. It's a great question. So right now I'm plugged in via Ethernet. When I unplug the Ethernet, it'll immediately look for Wi-Fi. There may be a drop in frame there. In fact, I'm almost positive there's going to be before it reconnects. So this falls into kind of a fail-safe for the Mevo. So Jack, if the Mevo loses connection, what it'll do is it'll look for connection for 30 seconds, and it'll back up whatever you're streaming on the recording on the SD card. So after 30 seconds, if it doesn't establish a connection, it's going to end your stream. So if you're midstream and you take out the PoE, the Mevo will then look for the Wi-Fi signal, and if it catches the Wi-Fi signal, it will reconnect. If you may have to reconnect manually through the Mevo app, that I'm not sure of, but it won't drop the stream completely, but it'll definitely you'll have drop frames. So the stream will continue, and then once the Mevo reconnects, it'll catch itself up, but there definitely will be some type of blip or drop frame there for a second. It also depends on how fast it reconnects. If it reconnects automatically, they might not get that. So your internet strength is a big proponent for that situation as well. Thank you for that question. Okay, Leslie we got a long one here, and it's a multicam question, so let's talk about it. Okay, Mevo Multicam. First, when I use my cell data with one camera as an access point for the other three cameras, I struggle to stay above 6 megabytes per second. Okay, I start high for a few minutes, and it just declines for about 5-7 minutes in, right? Okay, dial the stream down to 480 or even 360. Give me 1 second. Okay. Seems like I get throttled. This makes sense. Using 3 cameras, one more data. Sorry guys, I'm just reading through this question. I want to confirm it's expected. It is expected depending on your strength of your internet. So, okay. So before you start jumping around too much with your settings, just if you're using your cellular data, you have to look at the connection strength and what your speeds are. So it's kind of confusing because you could have 5 bars good connection, but you could have low speed or low bandwidth just because of what's going on in the area for that tower. So when you're using 4G, it could be a mixed bag. What I would do, Leslie, is definitely do your speed test in the area that you're shooting. Double check that you're getting at least 10 megabytes per second upload speed. If you're not, then yeah, lowering the resolution is going to be your scenario. If you have to do that and you are streaming live, keep in mind you can always do a backup recording at a higher resolution on the SD card in case you want to post something later. So you can always stream in low resolution and then repost in high resolution if you don't have the internet speeds or the best connection strength using your LTE connection. But you're absolutely right. Everything you said was correct. It's likely just the network can't handle it, depending on where you are. So do those tests first, but you are not doing anything incorrectly. You're definitely doing all the right things. It just could be shoddy internet in that area. Okay. 1 second. Let me just talk. Side conversation. All right. Okay. Is that live now? So it looks like we are going to have a sale on the Mevo Start. I'm just trying to find the price on it for you guys, and I'll keep you updated a little later on. Cool. Dave Dixon, referrals are always great. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Jose saying hello on Facebook. Hello, Jose. Okay, confirming. And this is just my lack of paying attention on what's going on lately, just because I've been pretty busy. But the Mevo Start is actually on sale. Normally it's $3.99. It is on sale for $339.99 at Mevo.com. And the sale goes to November 29th. Thank you, Andy, for that. I appreciate it. Andy coming in hot with all the information. So I'll repeat that. The Mevo Start is now $339.99. So that is a $60 savings on the Mevo. And that is good to $11.29. So thanks, Andy, for that. Otto, no thanks to you. You're useless on that one. All right. Cool. Awesome. All right, Laser Les coming in. He did 2 events this past week. Both went smoothly in a multicam situation. So big thanks to us. Big thanks to you, Les. Thanks for using the multicam. I appreciate you definitely coming to our lives too and participating. It tells me that you're learning, and the fact that you're having no issues using the multicam now means that you have reached the next level of being a Mevo user, which is awesome. All right. Okay. Zoom is marketing 2 of their new video cameras heavily. Are there any news about Logitech cameras anytime soon? So Jeff, I don't have any news on any type of new Logitech products. I can say that they are always working on the latest innovations and newer things. I know there is a big focus in Logitech for streamers and creators, which is part of our group here, the Logitech for Creators. So we're trying to focus on newer things that will, help the creator ecosystem. So we definitely have some stuff coming in, but nothing I can talk about right now. So apologize for that. All right. Ronald says, should I go with TRS or TRRS? Ronald, the answer to that question, if you're plugging that connection into the back of your Mevo Start, it is a TRS connection. So that is a stereo 3.5. Some people refer to it as an 1/8 inch stereo connection. If you do use a TRRS, it won't work. So let me see if I have a sample here. I could show you what I'm talking about. I do. So what Ronald is, I believe it was Ronald, right? What Ronald is referring to here, let's see if you guys can see this. This is your standard headphone jack. This is a stereo TRS connection, which is tip, ring, sleeve. So tip, ring, and then their sleeve. A TRRS connection has an additional channel and an additional ring. So that's what this looks like. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. And this is a TRRS connection. So a situation where you would use this is if you were using, let's say, like an Android cell phone that has the 3.5 input into it. That extra connection is actually for the mic input for a wired headset. There is no return on the Mevo, so that connection doesn't get used, and it actually will not work inside the Mevo. So if you are running into weird things going on with your analog setup, definitely check your cables. Okay, when is the next giveaway? Jose is asking. Jose, that's a great question. And I will tell you that the next giveaway that we are doing will be on December 2nd, Thursday, December 2nd. That's when we're coming back with Mevo Live, as far as our live shows after the little holiday break we're going to be taking. So if you want to participate in that, make sure you're commenting today. So what we do is we look back at the all the participants of the past 4 weeks of shows, and we throw all their names into a hat. So if you want to get on for that giveaway next week, make sure you're participating in today's show for sure. Thanks for that question, Jack. Or was it Jose? Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so a suggestion from Laser Les is saying, I think what we're asking here is the static views and graphic presets in multicam. Definitely a question. So just to tell you everyone his question here, he's saying it would be cool for multicam to have a view live cameras also include zoomed in view presets, so you can have quick access to zoomed in previews. Yeah, so you can actually set all that kind of stuff up. That's a static shot is what you're referring to. So if you have a full wide shot and then you want to zoom into a specific spot, you can absolutely do that. I can actually do that, show you an example of that. So this is actually my wide shot for my room today. So what I like to do is I like to bring myself in a little bit, and I have my static shot set up where I can simply click a button and then I'm there. So this is in the Mevo 2.0 app. Bringing this aspect into the multicam app is actually a great idea. It's something that we have definitely it's definitely on the list of things that we want to look into for sure. Okay. Jack said, is it only entries for 3 videos instead of 4? Yes. So Jack, at this time on Multicam, the limit is 3 inputs for video inputs from Meevos. Okay. Dave is asking about focusing the Mevo. It seems like the camera sometimes focuses on a ceiling mic instead. Okay, so Dave, so what's going on with the focus on the Mevo is it is a fixed focal point. So the best recommendation I can tell you is set up your wide shot like how I just selected, and take that wide shot and get as close to the subject as possible to fill in the frame as far as what you need. So if you're doing a stage setup, you might need to be a little bit further back. If you're doing a single speaker, you might want to dip in a little bit. Anywhere between 5 and 15 feet from the camera is kind of the sweet spot for Mevo. For example, my Mevo right now is probably about 3 feet away from me. And then I can even zoom in a little bit or crop in a little bit to bring it closer to get the shot I want and make sure that I am in focus. So unfortunately, there is no autofocus, there is no manual focus, so it's just a matter of just finding the correct position of where the camera wants to be. But thank you for that question, Dave. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, so Laser's saying about the zooming in on the multicam. So for those of you that don't know, multicam, the way to use the zoom and crop settings, you have to go to a separate screen, and what it does is actually blows out the whole single cam view, so you can really see what you're doing. On the Mevo 2.0, it's a little bit simpler because it's right on the preview screen. You can just kind of pinch and zoom, so it's a little quicker. But I definitely hear you, Les, on that, and that's something we're working on trying to incorporate. It's just a matter of managing the UI where you can do your crop and zoom, but still have your 3 shots available to you, and still have all your other options as far as like your graphics. Now we're trying to incorporate audio. That's coming down the line too. So it's just a matter of just utilizing that real estate space, and and also depends on, are you on a tablet, are you on a phone? There's a couple of differences there. Cool. Okay. Is there a way to lock the focus again? No, it's because it is already locked, so it's just a matter of where the camera actually is. Okay. Henry's asking, what are the PC requirements for OBS? That's a question for OBS. But I mean, you want to have high RAM. You want to have it really depends on what you're trying to do with OBS. If you're trying to do live streaming, having a graphics card is going to help. I mean, having a good GPU is going to help. So just the answer to that question is the best computer you can afford is what you need if you're going to be using OBS for live streaming. Does the Multicam app support AFV to use multiple mic inputs on multiple cams? I'm not sure what AFV is. What are you trying to say there, Jared? Maybe explain that to me. But multiple mic inputs on multiple cameras is absolutely possible. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can use the remote mic application, and that'll give you up to 3 remote mics using devices. You can use, the easiest way to do it would just be to use a mixer, right? And then just have as many inputs as you want, and just have your main feed going out to your Mevo camera. And okay. That would be it. Try to think of other ways. I mean, you kind of want to just run all your audio and do whatever you want with the audio prior to getting to the Mevo. So think of the Mevo as literally like the master bus, right? That's your last stop. So anything you want to do as far as like compression, EQ, reverb, like let's say you want to do some kind of like funky reverb sounds or delay sounds, like what I got going on right now, probably. Hopefully you guys heard that. All that kind of stuff. You're panning, your left and right panning. Do you want to be on the left? Do you want to be on the right? Have all that stuff solved before you even get to the Mevo is the best practice I would recommend. He's replying to 1 mic per cam. Yeah, I mean, you can do 1 mic per cam for sure in Multicam app. All right. Henry's asking more OBS questions. Can you get OBS on an iPad? I don't think so. Maybe there's workarounds. Jack looks like there's a workaround. I've never tried, so I'm not sure. Jack saying that Touch Portal works for him. Sounds good to me. All right. Multicam in the video preview where the hamburger next to lettuce crop. Yeah. Yeah, Les is still talking about the video preview and the multicam, cropping and zooming. Yeah, but it depends too, because you got to think iOS is different than Android, so it's just a matter of real estate as far as that goes. And I'm sure there's a lot of coding involved. Let's see. Jack is asking, what about going from wireless back to Ethernet? Can I plug straight in, or do I have to switch the Mevo mode settings? No, you should, as long as everything was pre-set up previously, the Mevo will remember the settings, and you should just be able to plug in the Ethernet connection, and that should reestablish the connection. Because I've definitely had Mevos where the plug comes out, and I've had to put them back in. So that should all be done automatically based off of the Mevo recognizing the connection. So you should be good with that, Jack. Okay. Jose is asking, can it work with Chroma Key? So that is a great question. So for those of you that don't know what Chroma Key is, he's referring to green screen. So yes, it absolutely can, because the green screen software, that's going to be something that's done on your system that actually has nothing to do with the Mevo. The Mevo is just providing the video with the green background. With that being said, if you are using green screen and you want it to look good, I recommend, if you're not already doing this, hop on YouTube, look up some tutorials on how to light green screen, because there is definitely things that can go wrong with Chroma Key as far as like your just your borders and just like outlining things in front of the green screen and separating things and having cleaner looking green screens. A lot of that has to do with lighting, so maybe look up some lighting videos. Okay. Yep. Good. Jake is asking me specifically if I can give him access to more than 3 cameras in the Multicam app. Jake, thanks for that question, but no. Okay. However, you can actually do this though. So for those of you that are looking to do more than three camera setup, incorporate a computer, incorporate a system like Streamlabs, a system like vMix, or a system like Livestream Studio, any of those systems, OBS, whatever you want to call it. Because you can absolutely use the Mevo Start using NDI. So NDI is a protocol that allows you, or I don't know if it's a protocol, but it allows you to have AV, audio video streamed wirelessly from the cameras directly to your computer. And what's cool about that is if you have a beefy enough computer, you can handle as many cameras as you want. So if you are looking for that multiple, 4+ camera kind of setup, that's going to be the way you're going to want to go at this time. All right. All right, Jake, you don't have to be mean about it. 3 cameras is a joke. Maybe not to people who need 3 cameras. Some people only need 1 camera. Everyone's use cases are different. Okay, Les is asking, can you purchase a replacement battery for the Boost? Unfortunately, Les, no. And actually, the Boosts are completely out right now. Theirs are just extinct, let's call them, because they were discontinued about a year ago. We had some left that we were holding on to for replacements. Those have all been run out. So the Mevo Boost is end of life. Can I use a microphone like the Mevo? Can I use the microphone of the Mevo like ambient mics? So Jose is asking so this is a question about blending microphones. So absolutely. So if you do want to use the internal Mevo microphones, you can use them with other sources except the 3.5 millimeter input into the Mevo. The reason why we disable those two where you can't use them at the same time, it's just because there's too many situations where there would be feedback loops on the mics using it that way. Now, if you are using the multicam setup, this is a great use case scenario. So let's say, for example, you're shooting a concert and you have your main mix coming out of your sound mix. That's going to Mevo A, right? You could have Mevo B, let's say it's in the crowd shooting the main straight view. You can have Mevo B set to the music setting or the general setting of the internal microphones and capture that crowd noise. And then in the Mevo, in the multicam app, you can then bring that crowd noise into the mix to kind of create more of a vibe for your mix. So that's a great use case scenario for using and blending different microphone sources, and just to kind of give that extra boost to your project there. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, Blue Door Insights. In Multicam, can we add video feeds? Example, MP4s, okay, iPads, etc. for intros, outros, between speakers, presentations, and so on. Not at this time, but it is something we are looking to do. So bringing in that picture-in-picture a value of having, like, let's say, like a replay video or just a sample video for like news streams, things like that. That is something we are working on bringing in. You can do that if you are using the more advanced setup with like NDI and, you know, your broadcasting software. You can absolutely do stuff like that. Not ready for the Multicam app just yet, but it is something we are looking into. Awesome. Any way to get a preview channel instead of I want to hear the speaker say copy that. So Jared is asking about getting a separate audio channel that you can do that's not going out to your program out. So in this situation, you know, during a lot of broadcasts, the producer, the engineer wants to be able to communicate with the talent on the stage or up in the front of the house without it hitting the feed. Unfortunately, there is no routing for the Mevo to do that. The only thing you would have to do, what you could do is in the Mevo application, you can mute your output. But you can still have the channel input going, which I believe. Let's test this out. I'm going to do a test right now. So what you guys are going to hear is I'm going to mute myself for a second, but I want to see if I can still preview my. No, yeah, see if I mute my main output, it mutes the preview as well. So there is no way to route that talk back. But it's a good suggestion. I'm trying to think if there would be a way to really route that. That's something you might have to just go through your soundboard for. But it's a good call out for sure. Oh, audio follow video. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, team. I lost my place for a second. Oh, Jason Hoffman is just talking about, I guess this is referring to building the computer. And he's just saying streaming is definitely processor intensive, which is a good call out for sure. You know, you definitely want to make sure that your computers can handle what you're looking to do. Jack is asking if there's any deals currently on the 3-pack. The 3-pack is kind of already a deal. So it's $9.99 for 3 Meevos. Normally the Meevos are $400, $399. So you are saving some money there just by getting the 3-pack itself. So no additional discounts on that. Les is asking, any chance you'll be able to pick fonts? Ooh, that's a great question. So that is definitely something that has come up before, and I think that's just a matter of just incorporating a different memory file for fonts and stuff like that into the software. That's something I'll ask about, Les. This is Les on YouTube. So having different fonts available for the graphics, I'm gonna bring that up, and sizes, of course. Yeah, I think it's a good call out. Okay, got some side conversations going. Okay. Is Mevo Hotspot mode using 5G or 2.4? I'm pretty sure it's using 5G. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. Joe will hop in and correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I'm pretty sure it's using 5G, though. Okay, Jack is asking, would hooking up all of my 4 Meevos separately help with audio sync issues in OBS? So, Jack, this is a great question. So each camera would have its own mic source. Okay, so it depends. It depends on how you're bringing your cameras to OBS, right? So if you're using, I guess you're using NDI. So if you're using 4 cameras, if you're coming in NDI, each camera will have the audio and video source are linked. So they'll come in their own audio sources for each camera. Those should already be synced. If you're having issues there, it depends on what it is. So there's a couple of things here. If the audio is behind the video, you can in OBS and I believe in Streamlabs, and I'm not sure about vMix or the others, but you can. There's a filter that you can put on where it'll delay the video a certain amount of time to sync to catch up with the audio, right? So if the audio is behind the video, you can delay your video to sync them up. conversely, if the audio is in front of the video, that's actually native in OBS under the advanced audio settings, and you can put a delay on the audio there, so it'll delay the audio to catch up to the video. Sometimes, I mean, you just have to trial and error that to see where your sweet spot is. I always start around 400 milliseconds because that seems to be where the most common delays are for at least the OBS that I use. I've had this experience on 2 different computers, 3 different computers before, so I'm not sure if this is just something that happens in OBS, which is why they built in those delay compensating features. So there is definitely ways around it, but you are correct. Do each camera individually for their shot. If you're coming in wireless webcam, like I am right now, in OBS, you have to use the audio separately. So there, you're definitely going to have to mess with the sync options because there'll be 2 separate channels, one for video, one for audio. NDI brings everything in under the same channel. So usually your sync should be good there, but pay attention to what's going on with the sync too. If is it starting in sync and is it drifting? That could be a different scenario, a different issue altogether. That could have to do with like your processor. That could have to do with are you up with your updates and stuff like that. I would also try different platforms and see what offers you the best solution. See, the thing is with NDI is it's still new, technically. It's still fairly new, and it's not as often used, so people are still developing things for it. For example, we use HEVC now, which is half the weight of the video, essentially, which is awesome, but not everyone's compatible with it. So you kind of have to just kind of ride that wave of the technology and see where it takes you. Great question, though. All right. Laserless is the end goal, and the Mevo 2 is the end goal to have the Mevo 2.0 and the Multicam very similar in design. Honestly, I think the end goal is just to have one app and just have it do everything. Now, the problem with that is, and this is something we talk about a lot. So this question was from Les, who's killing it on Twitch right now. So before I could get into this, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, whatever your platform you're on, definitely comment, shout us out. Let us know where you're hitting us up from. Let us know where you're chatting from. I recommend looking on Twitch because Twitch just seems to have the best video player as far as quality. So if you're looking for that nice, good 1080 feed, Twitch is pretty reliable. Cool. So his question was, yeah. So is it the point to have the Mevo 2.0 app and Multicam app be essentially the same app? Yeah, kind of. We want to make sure that we can create a user friendly experience with whatever the user may need. Now, the Mevo has grown so much since its inception. It was really just meant to be a camera you can turn on, set up, and stream. Now it's a camera you can turn on, set up, stream, use as a webcam, use as a recorder, bring 3 more cameras in, hook up to broadcasting software, hook up through NDI, send video, send audio to different sources, move things around. So you can go from the simplest setup to probably one of the more complicated setups that are out there for still under $1,000 when you get the 3-pack. So it still has a great value, but I think to your point, bringing those apps together, I think that's the overall plan. However, there are some things that you could do in the Multicam app, and the way it reacts with the Mevo is different than how you do things on the Mevo 2.0 app. So to kind of expand that a little bit, the Mevo 2.0 app, when you're streaming everything directly from the camera. On the Multicam app, you're gathering those camera feeds and you're streaming from the app. So it's actually a completely flipped scenario. So bringing those together, I think, is the ultimate goal. So Jared's saying, yeah, basically a cheap talkback is what he's looking for. So this is the discussion of being able to communicate with the talent from the other side of the Mevo. I think it's a great idea, especially when he's starting engineering streams from 3 hours away. Yeah, so if you're doing remote streaming, you can set this up. For example, when we do our Mevo live shows, right now what we're using is Skype. And Skype gives you the option to bring NDI into Streamlabs. So I can have a side conversation with Joe or Will in Skype that you guys won't hear because we're controlling all those outputs in Streamlabs. So it depends on your setup. So there are ways to do it natively on the Mevo, the talkback feature. It's just not going to happen. All right. So conversations going on fonts and stuff like that. Yeah, there are definitely opportunities there. Okay. Charlie, I'm getting to you. Don't worry. I see it. I see it there. Let's dive into Charlie's question here. And he says he's been using the mic app interface to a soundboard using a Scarlett audio interface for a long time. No issues. Great. Lastly, after a few minutes, I get a static from the mic app, which I found that. Okay, so it sounds like there's some type of interference happening between the Mevo mic app and the Mevo right now. What I would do, Charlie, is open up a ticket with us, because this is probably isn't something I can break down on the air here. I'm going to, yeah, I mean, you're doing all the right things. Check a different phone, check some different cables. Let us know how it goes out. Open up a ticket with us. So for those who need a little bit more in-depth technical answers, go to help.mevo.com, open up a ticket with us, and we'll be happy to go through all the steps for troubleshooting that. Like I said, you're doing a great job. You're already checking your cables. You're already substituting phones, disconnecting and reconnecting. It looks like that it could be an issue with that specific phone, or it could be an issue with the network not connecting them to. But we can get logs from the Mevo to see if it is the Mevo as well. So yeah, I mean, let's unpack this in tickets, Charlie. I appreciate it, though. Thank you. Some conversation about graphics, having the availability to have free movable graphics around. I think that's a great idea too. Right now the graphics are static to over the shoulder, lowered third, full frame. Those are the most common, but again, you can do stuff with like this. You just kind of have to incorporate your setup a little bit, and incorporate a computer, get some type of broadcasting software, and you can do all of these things. There is a video on YouTube that you can aim your camera at and record it, and it will give you exact measurement for audio video sync. Yeah, there's a few of those. You can do this yourself too. You can record, just do a quick recording in OBS or something like that. Open up any audio program or any type of software like iMovie or something like that, and you can literally see where the waves line up, and then you can measure what your sync is off. So for example, what I mean by this is, let's say you do a quick recording, test recording, clap your hands, get those spikes. Open up iMovie or some type of video software that you use. You'll see the waveform. You'll see you talking here, the spike here, you clapping here, the spike here, and then that distance is your sync. So that'll be 300 milliseconds, 400 milliseconds, whatever it is. But you can calculate that. You can look at it, and then in your OBS system or whatever you're using, you can actually compensate for that. That's definitely a way to get around sync. It's something we deal with often. So. Cool. All right, David, question on YouTube. He says, how can I show a graphic screen before a service or perhaps an intermission? Great. So right now, if you're using the Mevo 2.0 app or you're using the Multicam app, you can absolutely use graphics. So I'll give you an example of what I'm doing today. As you can see on my screen, I have this lower third right here. I can change that. So let's say I want to talk today about our referral program. I can go ahead and post that graphic right up, and this is using nothing but my tablet in front of me and the Mevo app. So that is available on both the Multicam app and the Mevo app, and the way you do it, and you know what, let's put that, I can even move that around and put that up in my corner. So the way you do that is the images have to be saved to your device. So, excuse me, the way I do these is I'll get them from our marketing team. They'll send me to a Google Drive. On my tablet, I can go right into that Google Drive, download the file, and then boom, it's available for me in my Mevo app, in the Multicam app, or in the Mevo 2.0 app. And let's go back to here. Boom. And now I got my lower third back. And you can do lower thirds, you can do over the shoulder overlays, you can do full frame overlays. Those are all your options. And you can even do bugs. You can do like little corner bugs as well. Cool. So hopefully that answers that question. And Dave, if you want to know exactly how to do it in the app, if you just go to help.mevo.com, type in graphics, there's like 6 articles that tell you, break down exactly like the motions of where you got to press to get all those articles, get all those images up. All right. Jarrett's saying he's having success on Twitch when it comes to copyrighted music. So for those of you who aren't sure what Jarrett's talking about here, there is an issue with copyrighted music, right? So like people that put their music out there, they don't want you using it for free, rightfully so. So if you are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, any of these channels, any of the major channels, chances are if you are running copyrighted music, you will get flagged and your stream might get kicked or booted. Facebook is notorious for this. It happens all the time on Facebook. Jarrett's here saying that Twitch is having better luck. Maybe. It really just depends. My suggestion is just as a best practice for streaming altogether, either buy your licensed music or use royalty-free music and just hope for the best. Awesome. Okay, Jack has a great question. He's saying, if each camera is hooked up with its own audio, will there be a sound gap cut, like a cut when you switch cameras? So, no. In the Multicam app, the audio and the video cutting is actually separate. So what you're doing with your audio, if you have all your audio channels running, like how we discussed earlier, camera A is your main input for your mixer. Camera B is your audience atmosphere view. Maybe camera C is, I don't know, your intermission songs or whatever. All of that can be managed in the Multicam app regardless of what shot you're showing. So they're not actually tied together at all. So you can have that main audio kick in and have the different shots going through, and you don't even have to touch the other audio inputs. So those are completely separate. Laser Less, sound dumb. What is NDI? And that is not a dumb question. And you know what? I am going to get the exact acronym because I don't remember what it is. I'm going to go to help.mevo.com. I'm going to type in NDI. And I'm pretty sure we have the definition right there. I could Google it, but I want to use our own stuff. Network device interface. Man, that was easy. So to answer your question, what is NDI? NDI essentially is a protocol that allows you to transmit audio and video wirelessly or through Ethernet to anything, to any source, right? So a couple of things you can do with NDI. Let's say you have a system that we've been discussing, Streamlabs, Livestream Studio, OBS. You can bring wireless video and audio into that system on your computer using NDI. Now, there's a lot to know about NDI. You have to download a whole toolkit on your computer just to even run it. But it also offers a lot of cool options. For example, the NDI virtual monitor, right? So now you have a monitor with audio and video of exactly what your Mevo is seeing, but you don't need to have any other programs open. You can just have a monitor set up if that's what you're looking for. There's something now called NDI Bridge. This is for PC users at this time. So NDI Bridge allows you to bring in any NDI source from anywhere. So that's something we're going to be playing with as well in order to do like a remote show. For example, Joe Mevo is in New Jersey, and when we want to do shows together, if we use NDI Bridge now, I can send him or he can send me an NDI input signal, and all the syncing and all of the synchronization between like the timestamps and everything gets sent by the network, so it's all synced on his end, and it comes in at its highest quality as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with NDI. It's only growing. It's something that's going to be pretty much everywhere when it comes to streaming or wireless connections. So I definitely recommend looking into it. And if you haven't checked it out or used it yet, you can download the NDI toolkit for free at newtech.com and check it out there. And if you need instructions on how to use the Mevo with NDI, we have a great article. I'm literally looking at it right now. So if you go to help.mevo.com and just do a search for NDI, it'll be the first one that pops up. Excuse me, guys. I'm losing my voice here a little bit. I'm rattling them off. All right. And don't feel bad. Sounding dumb is a great question. Not everybody knows what NDI is. All right. Jarrett says, graphics get Photoshop, GIMP, make your own, take time, well worth it. Yeah. I mean, so as far as graphics and creating your own individual graphics, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do. Jarrett makes a good point. If you create your own graphics ahead of time, you don't have to worry anything. You can just load them up into the Mevo and be ready to go. And we also have a great article at help.mevo.com referring to graphics as far as the requirements and the sizes for your actual images. So definitely take a look at that first before you just start making all these crazy graphics. Yeah, so a lot of people piling on here. You can definitely move your graphics anywhere, which is actually kind of funny. The lower third you see right here is not the Mevo lower third. This is actually a full screen overlay with a lower third with a lower third image with a transparent background. So for example, what I mean by that is I can actually make my own lower third right from the Mevo app. So let me throw something together real quick here, because I don't have one saved, but let's see if I can do it quickly. I'm going to give myself an image with that Logi C because I think it's awesome. We're going to use that. And then I'm going to put my text here. We'll say Joseph Pisani, and then I am a technical, and I am a specialist, some say. All right, let me pop that up. There we go. There's our option, lower third. And boom. Okay, so now you'll notice that this lower third looks a little bit different. So this is the native lower third that I just created using the Mevo app, right? So I just put this together. I was able to put an image on it. I was able to put a title. I was able to put a subtitle. Now, let's say I had a pre-made Photoshop image that I want to use instead of that. I can absolutely do that as well by just uploading this graphic. So now I have this one, a little bit more different, a little bit bigger, has the font I want. I mentioned that font conversation earlier. This one has the orange technical specialist font in the style that I want. So the way I did that was just pre-recording and pre-uploading the graphic. Yeah, and I guess the argument here is it's not as quick, but it isn't a quick setup on the fly. However, if you come in prepared and you have all those graphics ready to go, there's nothing quicker because I can just click it and I don't have to create it on the fly. All right. All right, looks like we're winding down. Let's see here. I am Hello Studios. Hello Studios. We have difficulty exporting finished video from our iPod to Dropbox and any other destination. It takes upwards of 30 minutes depending on the level of quality. Any tips? No. It just takes as long as it takes. Just make sure you have the fastest internet connection possible. You can try hooking the iPad in through Ethernet to make it move a little quicker. But unfortunately, uploading to Dropbox just takes as long as it takes, especially when you're dealing with large video files. If you're doing, obviously, at length 1080p files, they're going to be pretty big. Okay, so copyright music. So LaserLess has it on Twitch. He's coming in. He says he has a problem that the event that he streams will play random music during the event. Yes, you're just going to have to account for that. You're going to have to mute the mics. You can replace that section with a placeholder, be right back with a graphic with some unlicensed music you have in the background. There's ways around that. But if that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing. Hopefully your streams don't get disconnected less. Not much you can do about that. Let's see. Oh, lost my spot. David is asking, can you use the Mevo camera, Mevo as a zoom camera? Yes, Dave, absolutely, on YouTube. So essentially doing exactly what I'm doing right now. So you can set up the Mevo Start as a webcam that can be connected wired or wirelessly. Couple of things to know. If you're using a wired connection, which is just a USB cable, your max resolution is going to be 720p. Your max resolution on wireless is 1080. So if you want that better resolution, I recommend go wireless. I always use wireless. It's kind of the only way I use webcam with the Mevo at this time, and it works flawlessly. I have no issues whatsoever. You can then bring that into platforms like Zoom, Google Meets, Wirecast, Teams, whoever takes a webcam input. There are some things to know about that as far as compatibility and minimum requirements for your computer, but those are pretty much universal across the board, so you shouldn't have any issues there. But give it a go. Mevo.com/wireless webcam, I think, is where you can get the download for PC or Windows. Okay. Okay, we recorded our first live event. The recorded video showed a delay between the video and audio. That can happen. There's a million reasons for it. So what I would do is I am Hello Studios on YouTube. This is specifically for you. If you can recreate it, open up a ticket. And the way you do that is you do it from inside the app, right? So let's say you get the video, you play it back, you see the sync is up. Open up a ticket so we can get the logs for that unit, and maybe there's something we can do. Maybe there's something going on internally. One thing you want to look at too is take a look at the write speed that you have set. So the Mevo, as far as recordings, you can change your write speed and make sure that that is either equal to or exceeds the write speed of the card. I'm sorry, equal to or is under the write speed of the card. To say that properly. So, for example, if you're writing at 50 megabytes per second and your memory card can only write at 30 megabytes per second, you're going to run into issues like that. You might even run into just completely corrupt files at that point too. So maybe double check that first. If it happens again and you can recreate it, open up a ticket with us, help.mevo.com, and then provide us, if you can, send us the video. I mean, all the information, the more information we have, the better. I stress this with everybody. Like if it's a really specific issue, like something like that, send us the video, send us the logs, send us whatever you can so we can look more into it for you. All right. Christopher Slaughter, he says, where would be the best place to purchase an SD card for the Mevo Start? So, I mean, anywhere. I recommend SanDisk or Samsung SD cards almost exclusively. Just because in my own personal experience, that's what I use, and I don't ever have issues. So go with the best ones you can get. Whatever's in your budget, go with the best you can get. I do say, don't be fooled by an SD card that has a terabyte capacity, but is like $20 or $5 on Amazon. Don't recommend using any of those. Chances are they will not work, and that's something that we just have learned from experience. Even though just over the past year we've seen tons and they just never work. We also have a great article. If you go to help.mevo.com and just type in SD card, you'll see some articles pertaining to SD cards and capacities, and we have a list of which ones we've tried and used in the past. Can't go wrong with Samsung, can't go wrong with SanDisk. But again, double check your write speeds as well. Class 10 would be another thing. Class 10 SD cards, which most micro SD cards I think are now. But you know, like I said, best you can get. Let's see. With me, I can lower thirds easily. Sorry, this just popped in. Okay, Tony coming from Facebook just popping in asking about those lower thirds. So Tony, I did two things with the lower thirds. The one you're seeing right now is actually a full frame image with a transparent background. But I also have the availability inside the Mevo app to change that and use a graphic that I created inside the Mevo app. So this is something I did a couple minutes ago where I actually created this one. So this is the internal Mevo graphics that I did right on the app and what you're seeing right now. And then this one is the pre-made one, which is the full frame crop. The full frame with the transparent background, lower third. So again, the difference is here. Now you have more font options. I can make that text orange if I want, and I can kind of customize it to more what I need it for. Cool. So options there, Tony, for sure. And you can learn more about that. Again, help.mevo.com. Do a search for graphics. You'll see a ton of articles that go through all the steps on how to set that up. Tony's saying he uses Wirecast now. So I hear a lot about Wirecast. I haven't used Wirecast yet. It pops up often. We've definitely tested it just to kind of see if everything works, but I've never actually used it in depth. But I hear a lot of good things. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know what you think. Jared's doing my job for me, just answering questions. Jared, just answering questions in the comments. No, I'm kidding. Go for it. If you know the answer, go for it. But it better be right. All right. Geekworthy. 'Tis the season for discounts on licensed music agreement sites. That's a good call out. So Laser, what he means by that is there's websites like Epidemic Sound, there's Artlist.io, there's a ton of them where they have license free music that you can purchase. And I'm sure to Geekworthy's point, there's probably some sales going on for the holidays. So take advantage of it. You know, maybe get some license free songs, buy them, make sure so you're able to use them. You have the license agreements to use them, and then just kind of maybe put yourself a little pool of music that you can choose from for yourself, so you don't have to worry about searching for things. I mean, that's the best practice as well. Fred the Hippo! Oh, Fred, where have you been all day? It's the first we're hearing of you today. Thank you for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy to hear from you. Yep. Jared says, I'm rarely wrong. Okay. Well, we're gonna put you to the test, Jared. Make sure you're here on the 16th. Maybe we'll quiz you. Quiz you. Jose saying Wirecast is awesome with the Meevos. Awesome. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that more platforms work with the Meevos. And all right, so it looks like we're slowing down on questions right now. And actually, wow, man, that flew by. I didn't even realize what time it was. So now's a good time to talk about some other things we got going on. And if you've heard it say me once, you've heard it say me 1,000 times. If you are watching the show, if you are chatting with me live, that means you're probably or likely a Mevo customer or someone who's looking to get into the Mevo. So with that being said, sign up for the referral program. This is where you can recommend the Mevo, anything Mevo, to your friends or family, and you can help them save a little bit of money, and you can earn a little bit of money on your end. So save your friends and family 5% on any Mevo purchase from Mevo.com, and earn a 5% commission on your end too at Mevo.com/referral or Mevo.com/refer. So this is for U.S. customers only. Just want to make sure I point that out. And of course, we do these shows bi-weekly. So on Tuesdays is Ask Mevo Anything. That's what you're watching right now. That's what we're doing right now. We're just talking to each other, answering your questions live on the show. And on Thursdays, we do Mevo Live. So on the Mevo Live shows, we try to get things to be a little bit more complicated. We try to force problems on ourselves just so we can troubleshoot them live and kind of just show you guys what the ins and outs of using the Mevo and how to really, really take advantage of all it has to offer. So those are 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on all the platforms: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, at Mevo Camera. All right. So thank you for joining me today. Like I said, there will be no show this Thursday. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving. For those of you that don't know or maybe aren't watching in America, Thursday's America's Day off. So that's what we're going to be celebrating. And then we'll be back again next Thursday with Mevo Live, and we're going to have a giveaway. And then maybe Tuesday, I'm going to look at the schedule. I don't see anything booked right now for Tuesday. I think we're still going to be off. So look for us next Thursday, and you will see, looks like Will and Josie are coming in hot on December 2nd. So I appreciate everyone participating. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Have a great weekend. Have a great holiday. If I don't talk to you again till next month, let's say. But other than that, I hope everyone is well, and we will see you next time on Ask Mevo Anything. Almost timed it perfectly. Take care, everyone.